Your dad's missing you so much, Shannon. He's even out looking for you. Please come home, Shannon. If you're out there, come home.
It was a normal winter day in Dewsbury, England. Parents were getting their kids ready for school. They put warm coats on them because it was cold outside. One of those kids was a 9-year-old girl named Shannon Matthews. She lived with her mom, Karen, and her stepdad, Craig. Shannon was a tiny girl with blonde hair. That morning, she left home to walk to school down the street. But what should have been a normal school day ended up going horribly wrong. What happened to Shannon on her way home? Something very bad that no one expected. Shannon lived in a row house with her mother, 32-year-old Karen Matthews, and her mother's boyfriend, Craig Meehan. Shannon's father, Leon Rose, had split from Karen years earlier and had little contact with his daughter. That morning, Karen made sure Shannon was dressed in her school uniform before leaving for Westmore Junior School just half a mile away. "Be good today," Karen told her as Shannon headed out the door with her backpack. Little did she know, it would be the last time she saw her daughter as a free girl. She attended her classes and had a swimming lesson at the local sports center, just an ordinary day. At 3:10 p.m., Shannon left Westmore Junior School, clutching her backpack. She would normally have met up with friends and walked home together, but today, she was alone. Shannon likely stopped at the corner shop on her way, perhaps buying a candy bar or bag of chips. Then she headed down the street towards her house. But Shannon didn't make it home that afternoon. At 6:48 p.m., Karen Matthews called West Yorkshire Police in a panic. She told them Shannon had never come home from school. She claimed she'd searched the neighborhood and called friends and family, but no one had seen Shannon. Police immediately launched a massive search operation for the missing 9-year-old. Officers looked all over the area around Shannon's school and the route she took home. They went door to door, questioning neighbors. Helicopters using thermal imaging cameras circled overhead. Shannon's family made desperate appeals to the media. Her mother, Karen, cried through TV interviews, requesting to pray for her daughter's safe return. "She's lovely, she's shy. She wouldn't just run off," cried Karen. Shannon's stepfather, 22-year-old Craig Meehan, also protested his innocence. As hours turned to days, concern increased. Shannon's bright smile shines from the front pages of newspapers and posters. A comparison was made to the disappearance of toddler Madeleine McCann in Portugal the previous year, but some noted how Shannon's case received less prominence than Madeleine's. Police boosted up the investigation. Over 250 officers and 60 detectives were assigned to the case, exhausting resources. The sleepy town of Dewsbury was flooded with police officers going door to door and stopping travelers. It was the biggest police operation in the area since the Yorkshire Ripper murders 30 years back. Officers searched 3,000 local properties and fields. Sniffer dogs were brought in along with helicopters using thermal imaging cameras. Divers searched waterways and drains, but they could find no trace of Shannon. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. As weeks passed with no breaks in the case, the public grew increasingly concerned. What had happened to Shannon on her walk home from school? Had someone taken her? Was she lying somewhere hurt and waiting for help? The police were confused. They had no idea where she was. They looked all over but could not find her anywhere. It was a mystery. False leads came in. A taxi driver claimed he saw Shannon 200 miles away in London. Psychics offered theories, but none panned out. Officers analyzed CCTV footage and spider camera images, desperately hunting for clues. But 24 days after she disappeared, Shannon Matthews was still missing. Then, in an incredible turn of events, Shannon was found alive on March 14th. Police stormed a flat in Batley Car and discovered Shannon hidden inside a divan bed base. They arrested the resident, 39-year-old Michael Donovan, at the scene. Everyone was so happy when Shannon was found, but people were also confused. What was Shannon doing in that flat? How did she get there? And who was the man arrested with her? No one understood what was going on. Lots of questions were still unanswered. Shannon was safe now, but the police needed to find out the truth, who was behind it. Some troubling secrets were about to be uncovered. Soon the scary truth started to come out. The man Michael Donovan was actually the uncle of Shannon's stepdad, Craig. Shannon had not really been kidnapped at all. Her disappearance was a big fake plan made up by Donovan and Shannon's own mom, Karen Matthews. They planned the whole thing together. Shannon's mom was in on the fake kidnapping. It was a big scheme they cooked up to try and get money. No one could believe Shannon's own mother would do such an awful thing. Karen and Michael's plan was to get the reward money. Michael was going to pretend to find Shannon later. He would take her to the police station and collect the £50,000 reward offered for her return. Then Karen and Michael would split the money. So they faked the kidnapping just to get money for themselves. They didn't care about Shannon at all. They just saw her as a way to make money. It was an evil scheme. Poor Shannon had been given drugs to keep her quiet for weeks. She was tied up and trapped in Donovan's flat, scared and helpless. Her own greedy mom Karen planned all this. She didn't care about Shannon. She just saw the little girl as a way to get money. What a horrible thing for a mom to do to her daughter. Police uncovered web after web of lies told by Karen Matthews. Her crocodile tears on TV appealed to mask her dishonesty. Shannon's stepfather, Craig Meehan, was arrested too on child pornography charges, though he denied involvement in the kidnapping plan. In November 2008, Karen Matthews and Michael Donovan went on trial. The prosecutors told the court all the awful things Shannon went through. She was drugged over and over, tied up and neglected. They showed evidence that Karen and Michael were lying and just wanted money. The court heard how Shannon was mistreated during the fake kidnapping and how Karen and Michael had been evil and greedy. It was clear they committed a terrible crime. On December 4th, both were found guilty of kidnapping, false imprisonment, and perverting the course of justice. Called pure evil by the judge, they were sentenced to 8 years in prison. Everyone was shocked by what Karen did, but Shannon's nightmare wasn't over yet. Now people found out that Shannon and her brothers and sisters were neglected under their mom's care. With Karen in jail, Shannon had to go live with a new foster family. She got a new name to protect her privacy, but she was scarred emotionally from the terrible kidnapping. Shannon had panic attacks and nightmares from being held captive for weeks. Her childhood innocence was destroyed. She needed therapy to cope with it all. Matthews served half her sentence before being released in 2012. Donovan was also freed after 4 years. Shannon remained with her foster family, haunted by the horrific disloyalty from her own mother who treated her life as dispensable. Shannon's disappearance showed problems in the system. Children can slip through the cracks when families don't care. Shannon's mom Karen proved that greed makes people do evil things, even to their own. For this little girl, recovering from the cruel kidnapping would be long and hard.